Welcome to the deep dive. We take the research you need and, well, make it immediately useful. Today, we're looking at how digital marketplaces are evolving, specifically their business models. Our sources zero in on one platform that's seeing a lot of growth: Sawasoko. So our mission today: understand how they've structured things, how do they get sellers on board, what's free, what's not, and how do they approach scaling in this really competitive e-commerce space. Okay, let's unpack this. If you're watching e-commerce, commission fees are often a huge barrier, right? Especially for smaller sellers. And Sawasoko seems, well, almost engineered to tackle that specific pain point. So we need to figure out how they actually make money, how they sustain themselves when they cut that initial cost so dramatically for merchants.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because the sources don't just call it a marketplace. They specifically say it's Alreflections' fastest growing marketplace. That tells you something's clicking.
Yeah.
Their model seems to be working. And the pitch to sellers is pretty high level, quite strategic. Reach customers nationwide, showcase your products, and grow your brand. Notice that. They lead with brand growth. It's not just about shifting units.
Right, brand first. And that whole promise, it kicks off with an offer that's hard to ignore if you're a new seller or maybe just testing things out. The foundational offer, the starter plan, and the sources repeat this over and over. It's always free.
That always free part is, well, it's their hook. It's brilliant, really. Low friction. It just removes all those typical costs right away. No monthly fees, no listing charges, none of that complex setup stuff. So a seller can get a proper digital shopfront going without spending a dime up front. And they still get, a professional feel, their own store page, a seller dashboard, even tech support. It's a viable way to just test the waters.
But like any freemium model, there's always a catch, right? Something to nudge the successful users towards paying. In this case, it seems to be a quantity limit, a very specific one.
Exactly. That's the strategic lever they pull. The plan is solid, but if you're on that starter plan, you can only list up to 12 products anytime. Now, for someone maybe selling unique crafts, maybe 12 items is fine for a basic presence. But if you're serious about growing, about offering a wider range of stuff, that limit becomes a problem pretty fast.
Yeah, it's the bottleneck.
It's designed that way. It's like an invisible wall that encourages you, or maybe forces you, to upgrade once you see some success.
It's almost like they're saying, okay, prove your concept with these 12 items.
And then we can talk seriously about scaling.
Yeah. Okay, let's circle back to maybe the biggest selling point here, something that really sets them apart from, say, the giants in the industry. And the sources really hammer this home. For all direct customer orders on this free starter plan, no commission cuts.
It's massive, a huge differentiator.
But why does it work strategically? What's the thinking behind giving away the transaction fee?
Well, by offering zero commission, Sawasoko is basically signaling something important out their own business model. They're saying, look, we don't make our money by taking a slice of your sales. They're selling access. They're selling tools. They're not taxing the actual transaction. They want the seller to keep the full sale price. And that makes the platform incredibly attractive, especially to sellers really watching their margins.
And even within that free kind of limited plan, the sources mention some integrated tools that boost visibility a bit, specifically coupon year integration and cross-platform product showcasing. For listeners maybe not familiar, what do these actually do for a small seller on a free plan?
They're important little extras that make the free tier more than just a placeholder. Coupon year integration basically means the seller gets easy tools to create their own coupons, vouchers, run promotions. They don't need separate software for that, which is pretty handy for driving traffic.
Okay, makes sense. And the cross-platform product showcasing.
That suggests the platform isn't just like an isolated island. Even those 12 products you list, they get automatically shown in other places too, maybe other websites, social platforms where Sawasoko has ties or integrations. So the free plan's 12 products are actually working harder for you, potentially seen across multiple sites, all generating those lovely commission-free sales.
I see.
The whole starter plan feels designed for maximum efficiency with a minimal catalog. Get the most bang for your buck, essentially, before you need to upgrade.
Okay, that sets things up perfectly. So the moment arrives when 12 products just isn't enough, baseline visibility isn't cutting it. You need this platform to be your actual growth engine. That's when you look at the premium plan. And this is where it gets really interesting, analytically speaking, because the whole model flips, doesn't it? From zero commission, zero fees, to a subscription.
Right. That transition tells you a lot about their real revenue strategy. And the first thing to notice is the price and how they frame it in the source material. It lists the cost as RWF $5,200 per year.
Okay.
But then right next to it, or $3.06 per year.
$3.60 for a whole year.
Yeah.
Why show both? And why is that dollar price so, well, incredibly low? Even compared to the local currency price, it seems designed to be negligible.
I think it's definitely a strategic marketing choice. The RWF price caters to the local market, keeps it relevant there. But putting the dollar price at $3.60 annually, I mean, that's less than 30 cents a month.
Wow.
That's the hook for a global audience, isn't it? It just screams, tiny investment, almost no investment. It basically removes cost as a factor in the decision. It makes upgrading feel less like paying a fee and more like just, ticking a box.
A formality. And for that formality, that $3.60 a year, you get rid of the main constraint instantly. You go from that tight 12 product limit to add unlimited products.
That's the core exchange right there. Pay a token amount, unlock unlimited capacity.
But it's more than just capacity, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Once you unlock unlimited products, you're not just paying for shelf space. You're paying for the advanced marketing package. This is where Sawasoko really shows its hand. It becomes this engine for aggressive brand growth, fulfilling that promise they made right at the start.
Okay, tell us more about those advanced marketing tools. What specifically do you get beyond just listing more stuff?
It's about reach, exponential reach, really. The premium plan includes automated promotion to over 200 websites. 200 plus.
Wow.
Just think about what it would take for a small business to try and get promotion on 200 different sites by themselves.
Yeah, the time, the cost.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Exactly. Insurmountable. So this feature bundles massive digital reach into that tiny annual fee. It's automated exposure.
So, okay, let me get this straight. Instead of the platform taking a percentage cut of every sale, which gets bigger as you sell more, the seller pays this fixed, super low annual fee. And in return, they get the tools and the reach to actually make those sales happen.
Precisely. It shifts the dynamic. The platform is betting on its ability to drive traffic and exposure for that fee, rather than just taxing the outcome of a sale.
Interesting.
And to support that wide reach, they throw in other essential tools. Things like email notifications, which help the seller manage customer communication directly, and also blogger integration. Now, that's quite key.
Blogger integration. What does that mean in practice?
It means the platform helps connect the seller's products, now unlimited products, remember, with content creators, bloggers, maybe reviewers. So it enhances the story around the product, boosts its reach through reviews, features, that kind of thing. It leverages content marketing.
Okay, now let's focus on something in the premium plan that honestly jumped at me from the sources. It feels like the most defining feature. It goes way beyond standard digital marketing. It feels more like PR inclusion in news media and podcast interviews.
Yeah, that is genuinely unique, especially for a platform charging, less than $4 a year. When the sources mention access to news media and podcast interviews alongside that blogger integration, Sawasoko is essentially offering institutional credibility for $3.60. That kind of access is usually incredibly expensive or just flat out unattainable for small independent sellers.
It says a lot about Sawasoko's own setup, doesn't it? They must have some kind of active media outreach team or maybe a content creation pipeline internally.
Seems like it.
Because think about it, for a small business, getting into the news or on a podcast, that often takes months of work, maybe hiring a PR firm, endless cold emails.
Right, and here it's just bundled into this tiny annual subscription.
It completely changes the value proposition, doesn't it?
Totally. You're not just paying for unlimited listings anymore. You're paying for exposure that builds genuine brand authority. And that directly ties back to their initial promise. Grow your brand.
Yeah.
They're selling that opportunity by leveraging professional content marketing and media connections.
It feels like a massive shortcut to legitimacy for these sellers.
It is. It separates the premium plan from just being an upgrade. It makes it feel more like a comprehensive marketing and PR partnership.
And the whole structure seems designed to make that $3.60 investment translate into explosive visibility. Visibility that then makes renewing the subscription a no-brainer. Looking at the sources, it seems the entire marketplace is built around playing on two key seller motivations: the fear of high commissions and the desire for, well, unlimited high-impact exposure.
They use the free zero-commission starter plan to get sellers in the door, hook them, and then they use the incredibly low-cost premium plan to sell them what's essentially a PR and marketing agency service, just disguised as a marketplace subscription.
So what does this all mean? For you, listening, thinking about e-commerce strategy, Sawasoko, it's really a masterclass in market segmentation and maybe revenue diversification. They give sellers a very clear choice. You can have a solid commission-free presence, but it's limited in scale. That's the starter plan. Or you can have an all-inclusive, super low-cost marketing and expansion package that's premium. And its main weapon is broad exposure, even media exposure.
Yeah, and the underlying model, it has to rely on achieving scale itself,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Getting a high conversion rate from free users to those premium subscribers. If you connect this back to the bigger e-commerce picture, their strategy feels kind of inverted compared to the norm. Instead of relying on taking a slice of every sale, which can fluctuate and needs constant tracking, Sawasoko seems to rely on fixed, predictable annual revenue. Revenue generated by selling these advanced promotion tools and, remarkably, media access.
So it raises a really interesting question, I think. We're in this digital world dominated by giants like Amazon, eBay, who lean heavily on transaction commissions. Does this kind of model offering direct customer orders, no commission cuts, for free, point toward a different future? A future where platforms maybe make their profit only from selling advanced tools, marketing services, media exposure, rather than taxing the basic act of selling itself. Sawasoko seems to be betting that sellers value that PR and unlimited capacity more than they value saving $3.60 a year. That's definitely something for you to mull over as you watch how these marketplaces continue to evolve.